Hey, Mike here with Big Heart Adventures and Heart Hunts. Well, we got 3/4 inches of rain last night, and now she's snowing on top of that. So I got the cows fed, and got a little time in between. I feed them again before this evening, so they'll have something to kind of lay in and chew on during the night as it snows and kind of wet out there. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity today to talk about fitness, and then try out some of this gear, this clothing gear, with this weather that's going on out there. It's kind of wet and chilly out, so it'll be a good opportunity to try some of this clothing out. But when we talk about fitness, it's pretty important to, when you go on hunts or you're planning hunts, to not be out of shape, severely out of shape, because you're going to have to do some walking. You're going to have to put some time in on the stand, and keep up with the guide if you go with a guide, or keep up with your buddies if you go with buddies. So you don't want to be out of shape. You don't want to be that guy that's everybody's waiting on. And let's be honest, let's get into shape anyways. We don't have to go out and look like Dwayne Johnson and The Rock, and we don't have to, have six-pack abs and huge arms. But we can get into shape so we feel good and we're able to do what we need to do. And also another thing is, when you're in shape, you've been working out, you're feeling strong, you have a better balance and a better ability to control yourself when you're on hikes. Say you're hiking in the mountains, or you're walking over deadfall, or you're on a side hill, or you're in some rocky terrain. Injuries out there on the hunt are probably more because you weren't balanced. You twisted an ankle, you fell over a tree, you weren't controlled in your body movements, which comes from your core, which comes from your legs. So there's some things that I do and that I noticed on the past year that I can improve in. I thought I was in pretty good shape, and then I went out with Gray and learned that I was in shape, but I wasn't in Gray shape. I mean, that guy, he took me up and down, and I thought, you know what, I need to be better prepared to keep up with guys that are hiking those terrains. I mean, you can be in shape, but the terrain, if you're not used to it, is definitely going to get you. And so you need to kind of train for the terrain you're going to be in. So what I like and what I do, and there's plenty of stuff out there to choose from, and I'm seeing a lot of pop-ups on my social media on these programs specific to hunting. So I look through them, but I don't think you need a program specific to hunting, but it makes it easy. It sure does if you sign up for these deals, and you can get in and follow a program that they put out for you, and you don't have to kind of do the research or whatever. But what I like and what I've found is I do the Beast from Beachbody, and what I like about it is it's kind of high rep stuff, and it's a longer program. And when you go at your own pace, it works. It gets you strong. It gets you from head to toe kind of balanced out with your strength. And like I said, you can go at your own pace and your own weight level, and it doesn't take a heck of a lot of equipment. I've got some adjustable dumbbells, a little bench, and a pull-up bar. So, and that's all. I mean, those are things, and most of the exercise you can do without that stuff if you exclude the arm exercises. So it's one of those things you can kind of do on the road too, because you kind of want to stay in shape when you're out there. I find when I'm on a long stretch of hunts that, if I don't, do some push-ups or whatever like that, you're not, sometimes if you're sitting and glassing all the time and then back in camp and whatever, you forget that you need to kind of keep the muscles toned up and everything, the core and everything engaged. So you can do these, this Beachbody Beast program. You can do, let's say, 75% of it if you're on the road without any equipment. So I like to do that. And then I couple it with, some running. You got to get your lungs in shape. And I don't run, I run like 2-3 times a week, a couple miles, but I do hills. And because you're not going to be walking on flat ground, so why would we run on flat ground? So find some hills and either walk them in the beginning, up and down, and then get in shape and start running a little bit up and down, and then run the whole thing up and down. And a couple times a week I do that, intermixed with my 6-day-a-week Beast program. But what I've also done is I really want to mimic what I'm going to be into as far as terrain. So what I've done is I've loaded my pack as heavy as I can, and I've built a 5-mile hiking trail around the property, around the farm up here. And what I'll do is I like to do that intermixed between the running. I'll do that probably 4 times a week. And what that does is it mimics this terrain. So I've got hills, I've got side hills, it's rocky. There's some places that it's slippery. Today's gonna be slippery as get out. I'm probably gonna bite it a few times. That's probably where we're going today. There's obstacles. I haven't cleared it to where there's trees to walk over. There's barbed wire in the way. I climb over the gates and make the loop. And by the time I'm done, I feel like that I've pretty much exposed myself to the things I'll be seeing out there in the field. So again, important to be in shape, not only to keep up with the guide, to keep up with your buddies, but for yourself, to keep yourself safe from injury when you're out there. So we're going to try out this clothing gear too. So what I've got is I've got the Obsidian pant on, which is the wool pant from First Light, and then I've got this long sleeve, what do they call it? Wick. It's the wick. It's also merino wool. So that's going to be what I do my base layer today. This to the Bronco to keep us warm. Got a hood here, put up over, and then I put the Storm Tight rain pant on, and this is going to be a good test today because it's snowing wet, heavy snow. And the ground's already soaking wet, muddy, and I want to see what these can do, see how noisy they are, and see how flexible and stuff, movement, and it's important to try this stuff out. You can't just put it on. You don't want to just put it on the day you're going hunting and not know what to expect from it. So we've got these, and we're gonna have one more layer. The Cajole jacket by Swazi. This thing I love. Pockets here, put my hands in, whatever. And I got the skull from Swazi. Put that on. But this should have the hood, keep the rain off, keep the snow off, and yeah. So I'm just gonna go on this hike, and it's kind of what I do 4 times a week to keep the legs in shape, keep my balance, get my lungs in shape, and I get to see a lot of deer and animals too, so it's pretty good. But I do this after I feed the cows, or early in the morning before I feed the cows. But you just got to get up, you got to do it, make time. Instead of watching TV or drinking too much coffee in the morning, get out and do it. So let's go on this trip. I'll show you what it's all about. Hopefully you may see me fall a couple times. It's super slippery out. So, all right, got the rain cover on the Mystery Ranch Marshall pack. I love that pack, and we're ready to go out. Okay, you can see it's a little bit snowy out, but just right for testing this stuff out. But normally I'll do 2.5 miles on this trail, and it's a 5-mile trail, just because that's about all I have time for. But if I have extra time, I'll do the whole 5 miles, and it's a good little trek. So, but if you've got property, you can make your own trail, and make it as long as you want in different terrain. But there's always parks and places you can go to. But strap your pack to your back, put the gear on you're gonna be using, and go do 2.5, 3, 4 miles, and get used to it. So it's just super slick out today, and so I'm slowing my pace down a little bit than what I usually do. But you got to get out on these nasty days, because most of the days in the field are not going to be bright and sunny, and you need to know how to handle the situation. So we'll just go a little slower today because these rocks are slick. Right now, just right warmth wise, not getting too heated up. I know I'm going to get heated up on these hills that are coming up, but You can always pack a light down jacket in your pack, or if you're gonna start spotting when you get to your place you want to glass a little bit. Nice slick rocks here, but you don't want to get too sweated up on the way in. So far so good. Whoa, almost bit it there now. Head down to the creek here. It is a slick dog now. Woo! They're beautiful. I love it. Fresh, wet snow. As long as the calves and cows are healthy and fed, we can do stuff like this. But it's a muddy mess. I'm going to shut this off so I can concentrate. You can see I've kept the barbed wire in the trail, so you've got to navigate those. And we go up through these trees, and no matter how many times you come up these hills and you're hiking with this pack on your back, you still get a little winded, which is good. But each time you do it, get a little stronger. It is slick though, boys and girls. Whew. Oh yeah, it's steep. I got my heart rate up, so breathing good. Legs are burning. That's how you know it's working. I like to go at a pretty good clip to keep that heart rate up. See, we've got just all sorts of twists and turns. Gotta go over trees and put your feet right. You're not slipping and falling, breaking an ankle. It's all about control and balance. You got 50 pounds on your back, better have some base. You better, see there? You better have some base, and you better have some control and some core muscles. So, I love this trail. So we got another deadfall up here. Nothing huge like out west, where that's what the Forest Service loves to see, is deadfall. It makes your life miserable, but it's what it is. But you control yourself, step over. It's not a race. I'm talking, probably not going to see any animals, but it's a beautiful snow. All right, so right here we're coming up on one of my control obstacles. Climbing over this H brace with barbed wire on it, back down over and then back up the gate. Now, this barbed wire gets caught on these expensive clothes, I'm gonna be pissed, right? So it's all about control. And that's another thing about these expensive clothes. If they're just $40 jeans, I wouldn't worry too much, but at $240, that'd ruin a guy's day. Let's see if I can do it. All right, I'm about halfway done on this half of the trail. And see, I've got the hood down because I'm getting a little heated up, but not too bad. Everything seems to be working good, and I did not rip any of this expensive clothing. That's good. So we'll go through some of these briars and see how these pants do. And down through some cedars there behind us we went, and it's definitely a chance right now to catch your breath and kind of going downhill a little bit. But it's just like what you'll encounter when you're on a hunt. It's what you want to make it. It's not all uphill, it's not all downhill, and it's never flat. Sometimes it's open like this, and then sometimes it gets a little skinnier. So this is where it gets really rocky, really slick. We're on the edge of a glade, and so it's a really important, might be like similar to a shale, well not even similar, but you know, if you're walking on a shale slide or something like that, you just really got to pick your Pick your path, take your steps, be balanced. This is all rock that's covered in moss and slick, so you pick your travel deal. Make sure your footing's good. Make sure your pack doesn't push you over. It doesn't matter how fast you get there. It matters if you get there. And they don't have to helicopter your butt out of there. But I like this trail. It takes a little time to do, but you gotta make time. You got a busy day, guy gets up early, puts a headlamp on, because there'll be days where you're walking in and out in the dark. Put a headlamp on and do it. I don't feed till it gets light out so I can see things, so I can do this in the dark. Or if the day's over, instead of watching television, put your headlamp on, go for a hike. Ooh. We made it down all the way to the bottom, lowest part of the trail here. All right, we're on the last stretch here. Probably a half mile to go. Gonna be all uphill to the red shed. And there we go, now we can see. Everything so far is working good. See you at the shed. All right, sure enough wet. Let's go over this. I had a pair of cotton gloves. I really didn't need gloves, but I wanted to take a pair. And they are soaked. But I usually take 2 pair of cotton gloves to wear on the hike in. And then I put them in the pack and grab the good gloves out. That way you don't risk maybe getting water down inside the gloves somehow. So you have dry gloves when you get to where you're wanting to sit and spot or whatever. So we got the pack. Let's see how the pack did with the rain cover on, huh? Snowy for sure, but looks good. So we got the skull. Now I took the hood off pretty much from the get-go. This thing feels damp, right? Dry. I mean, I guarantee you just set that out, it'll be dry on the outside in no time. Pretty cool. Yeah, that was awesome. So let's take the cajole off here. Got plenty of moisture on the outside. She's dry on the inside. All right, we got the lower boots. They sure enough look wet, right? But inside, dry and not real sweated up. And guess what? I didn't fall. Traction on there and the support. Love them. Love them. Give those ones 4 hearts, man. 4 hearts. The lowest get. Now, what about these storm type pants? Sure enough wet, right? But dry on the inside. Found myself just digging these dudes. They were light, quiet, went through the briars, and I was expecting to find a few holes down here. Nope. Let's check this other side. Nope, and here's down by the ground where it would be the wettest, right? You can see dry. The Bronco absorbed a little moisture from my sweat. You can see I got sweated up. This pulled the moisture into that. It did get a little damp on the inside of the Bronco, but not bad. So that's a situation where that will dry pretty quick too. This, we'll see how fast it dries. It's pretty wet from sweat. Got sweated up in there. So if you're on a long hike into your stand or into where you're going to glass, it might be good to have another shirt. Take this one off, put a new one on. All right, so I did my workout today. I did the trail 4 times a week on the trail, maybe 3 times running, and then 6 days a week with the beast. But what did we learn on the trail with this gear today? So what I would have done different, what I'm going to do different from, as I'm going to wear this t-shirt as I'm hiking, and then I'm going to take along the long sleeve tee, the long sleeve wick, merino wool. This is merino wool. And then I've got the Bronco over that. And that way when I get to where I want to go and I'm going to glass or I'm going to sit in the stand, I can take this shirt off because it's probably going to be wet from my sweat. Put the long sleeve one on. Bronco's going to be good. Cajoule's going to be good. Maybe the down puffy jacket, puffy pants, whatever. But going to have to take an extra because that long sleeve tee was soaked to the max on that deal. So it's always a concern, right, whenever you're hiking in somewhere, is how heated up you're going to get. So it's best to plan ahead. Now we know everything else worked pretty good. So I give everything in that test run kind of a 4 hearts on it, man. It was good. I enjoyed it. That was good gear. It's so expensive, but what are you going to do? All right, I got to get back to work. I got to go feed these cows some more. Make sure they're comfortable tonight. It's going to be cold, a little bit wet. Make sure there's some hay for the little calves to sleep in. So, but until next time, take care of your neighbor and H.A.R.T the Hunt.